Okay, before we go further, I just want you to do a brief assessment, and I've put up a question here. So these are the instructions for the code you're going to write. You're going to write a short program by creating a function called isAdult, and let this function have one argument, and that argument should be age. Now you make the function return true if age is 18 or higher. So if the value of age is equals to 18 or higher, you should return true. Otherwise, that function should return false. Now you should call this function at least 2 times so that we can test with different values. You can put some values lower than 18, some higher than 18 to see what result it will give you. Call the function as many times as you want, but at least 2 times. Then for each time you call the function, I want you to print the results to the screen using document.writeLine, just like we've been doing, and to see the value that was returned. Now this is a very simple assessment. I want you to take some time to do this. I'm going to solve it in this video, so you will probably be pausing the video anytime soon, but you attempt it yourself. Make sure your program works, and after you do, you can continue watching this video to see the solution that I am going to write now. So feel free to pause the video now. Okay, so I hope you were able to do this, and hopefully your program works. And so I'm just going to write my solution to this, and hopefully we got something similar. So let's start from the first one. The first said we should create a function called isAdult, and we know how to create a function. It is function followed by the function name, which is isAdult in this case, and that creates a function. Step 1 complete. And step 2 say let the function have one argument called age. So we should have an argument come in this bracket here, and the name should be age. And number 3, make the function return true if age is 18 or higher, otherwise return false. So remember logical operators. We can check if a number is greater than, if it is less than, if it is greater than or equals to. So if age is greater than or equals to 18, we should get a true. And we can easily do that using the greater than sign. So we can do if age is greater than or equals to 18. Now remember logical operators. If it is greater than, if your expression is right, we would get true. If it is wrong, we would get false. So which means if age is actually 20, for instance, is 20 greater than 18, we should get a true. And since our question says we should return true if it is higher, then it means that this would give us the result we want. And if it is not, for instance 16, if 16 greater than or equals to 18, it is not, and so it will automatically give us false. What that means is we can just return the result from this expression, because we say we want to return true if it is 18 or higher, or return false otherwise, and this already gives us that result. We just have to return it. Okay, so that's all for that function. Number 4, call the function at least 2 times passing different values. So we want to call this function 2 times passing different values. I will use I'll call it 2 times, and the first time I'll put a value that is less than 18, and the second time I'll call it with a value that is greater than 18. Okay, so that's calling it 2 times. And number 5, each time you call the function, print the returned value. So remember, this function has a return statement, which means it gives us back a value, and we want to print the value. There are 2 things we can do. We can either print this value directly from the function, or we can store it in a variable first. So I want to store it in a variable. So we would have var result1 is equals to, remember your variable can be anything you want, so I'm using res1 in this case, and I will use documents dot write line and print out my variable res1, and I'll do the same thing for the second one, but I'll use a different variable res2, and then we can do documents dot write line res2. Okay, and this should be it. You see, very simple short lines of code, and yeah. So let's run this code and see what we get. Okay, so first is false, second is true. So 12 is less than 18, so we should get false. And the second case, 34 is greater than 18, and so we should get true. And so our function is working just as we described here. I hope you got something similar. If you didn't, you can just look at this and know what you need to correct. If you didn't do it earlier and you see me do it now, just go through what I've done now, then put it aside and try to do it by yourself without looking at my code, and just practice. You can still look for more examples that you can do using functions, because next videos we are moving on to something else.